Howdy howdy, this is Crafty Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover round 1 results for the Aegon and Hulkbuster arenas, then jump into some round 2 predictions. So first the results. So we have a new winner when it comes to all-time round 1 highest cutoff with Aegon at 68 million. I think it was around 66 million or maybe even 67 million for Emma Frost. Aegon has now beaten those numbers. And then, and that was for, of course, the 5-star feature arena. Then when it comes to the 4-star feature arena, he was on the higher end of the typical new champ in the 4-star feature arena with his cutoff at 15.5 million. An unsurprisingly low cutoff for the Hulkbuster 4-star basic champ coming in at 1.65 million. And then lastly, the cutoff for the 3-star feature Aegon came in at 1.34 million. So compared to my predictions, for the most part, they weren't too far off. The biggest one, of course, was the 5-star feature. I knew it was going to be high. We just haven't been seeing some high 5-star feature cutoffs in a while. I didn't expect it, though, to really beat Emma Frost. I thought maybe there was a chance, you know, at the 56, even getting closer to that 60 million threshold that we were seeing for the likes of Omega Red. But was surprised, and we saw really high numbers come across for Aegon there. But the other ones, though, kind of as expected. Aegon with some interest for him being on the higher side of that 4-star feature, as well as the 3-star feature arenas, and then of course, not a lot of interest at all with Hulkbusters. Hence the low numbers there. So now that I've recapped kind of where the round 1 actuals were, let's take a look at some trends to figure out what the round 2 cutoffs might be. Starting first with the 5-star feature, and again, I'm going to kind of pull up some of the higher numbers that we've seen, not the most recent, like Symbiote Supreme and the Void the Duck, but anyway, you can see that these numbers were going back to Korg, Omega Red, and Emma Frost. You can see that the numbers were steadily going higher and higher. And then even when we got to that 67, almost 68 million, almost as high as Aegon's first round cutoff, there was a big drop off. Just people, for whatever reason, you know, thought that those numbers were going to be high because we've been seeing consistent, even round 2 being higher for the likes with even Omega Red, where it was a 61. It went to 66 in round 2, so it's not like in the middle of the week these numbers are dropping. However, with Emma Frost, we had that huge drop. Kind of reminds me of the same kind of drop we saw, not in absolute numbers, but in percentage-wise, the drop that we saw with Iceman in the 4-star basic arena when he was like 6 million in round 1, then dropped all the way down to like 3 million in round 2. Could it happen? Sure, it could happen with Aegon here. I think, though, there seems to be enough hype and interest that that's going to still, you know, get closer to the, you know, a very similar number in round 1. Or, sorry, in round 2, maybe if not even a little bit higher. Now, when it comes to the 4-star feature, though, there are it kind of, you know, it kind of varies with Korg. With the 13.7, it did go up a little bit to 14.1. However, with Omega Red, who was at 14.2 in round 1, dropped to 3.2. Then Emma Frost actually dropped as well from 15.3 to 15.1 in round 2. But then lastly, the champion, just to give you you know, just another bullet point, you know, the point of reference with the champion who had a pretty, you know, a lower than these other numbers. First round at 11.7 did have an increase to 12.1. So as you can see, there's no clear trend out of all these. Some drop, some low, you know, go a little bit lower, but for the most part, the numbers are within 300, 400,000. Now, when it comes to the 4-star basic, though, and I think it's interesting with these lower numbers that had a first round in that 1.6 range. Black Panther actually went up in round 2. So did Winter Soldier, but then Thor Jane Foster actually went down to 1.5. And I think we're going to see a similar comparison with Thor and Jane Foster versus Black Panther and Winter Soldier, just because, you know, Black Panther Civil Warrior still has some value in Alliance War defense. Winter Soldier's gotten better now, almost becomes like a Star-Lord light if you have the Killmonger synergy. So I think there's some value for there where Thor Jane Foster, you know, she's just kind of a mad champ, nothing spectacular. I know she has some of the Guardians and some other synergies, but nothing great there to really want to have her, you know, pulled in. And I think the same thing with Hulkbuster, so I think we'll see a similar number there. Now, and the 3-star feature, what is pretty consistent, round 2 is always lower than round 1. So considering all these trends and comparing against the actuals in the first round, here are my thoughts for the round 2 predictions for the veterans bracket, meaning your account's been open for over 61 days. So I do think Aegon's going to be very similar, cutoff 67, maybe even going up a little bit to that 68, 69. I don't see these numbers going much higher though, and I don't expect us to have the big drop off. It can certainly happen if everybody gets scared away from this round 1 cutoff that hey, I'm not going in to go in after him for round 2, then hey, yeah, it can certainly drop. But I don't think that's going to be the case, and I think we're going to have a very similar round 2 cutoff. Now with the 4-star basic, I do think it's going to go a little bit lower, 15.1, but again, pretty much the same number. I mean, there's not a significant difference here. You know, it's 200, 300,000 either way kind of deal based off of the trends that we saw. With Hulkbuster, very similar. I think round 2 result of 1.61 million for the cutoff, and then lastly, we'll see that drop, that typical drop for the 3-star feature Aegon from that 1.34 range down to 1.2 million in round 2. Now, this, of course, these are the predictions. This is where I think the actual cutoffs are going to be within, 5 to 10%. So I always like to give a kind of a grind target to give yourself a little buffer to make sure you don't miss that champ. Aegon, you better go to 69, maybe even 70 million for that 5-star feature Aegon. For the 4-star feature, go to 5.5 million. You should be okay. For the 4-star basic Hulkbuster, 1.7 probably be all right, but I got 1.8 here just in case. Give yourself a little buffer. And then for that 3-star feature Aegon, if you go to 1.3 again, you should be in the clear. Now, again, these grind targets as well as predictions are for the veterans bracket. When it actually comes to those other brackets, beginners and intermediates, there's just not a lot of data out there to do any trend analysis. So these are just rough ballpark numbers based off of some anecdotal information provided from the community from time to time. So starting first with the beginners bracket, meaning you have a newer account from 1 to 30 days. 3-star feature, you're looking around 245, 250. For the 4-star basic, you're looking for right around 1 million. For the 4-star feature, you're looking at 1.1 million. And then for the intermediate bracket, the 3-star feature, looking for 525. For the 4-star basic, you're looking around 900,000. And for the 4-star feature Aegon, you're looking at 1.5 million. These are my thoughts for round 2 of the Aegon and Hulkbuster arenas. Would love to hear any difference of opinions, any questions, your thoughts for round 2. Throw them on down in the comment section, and be happy to discuss them with you there. So other than that, hopefully you liked this video. If so, we really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button. If you like this and other videos I have on the channel, we'd really appreciate you to subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.